Good morning, good morning. How you guys doing? Nothing like a little bit of Mozart first thing in the morning, huh? Thanks for joining me for another live session, 8 a.m., March 12th, 2024. And today's show, I wanted to focus in on some dividend plays that are coming our way. What do I mean by dividend plays? Well, I should say earnings plays, sorry. Well, there are stocks and they are releasing their earnings. And there's stocks this week that have earnings release. And the incredible thing is when you understand supply and demand and you understand how big institutions come in and purchase up shares, they leave their calling card on the charts. Every time they make a move, you can see it on the charts if you know what to look for. So it's incredible to see a chart leading up into earnings. It's almost as if the big banks know exactly what those earnings releases are going to be, whether they're going to be perceived as negative or positive. And so I've been paying attention to that and looking at a bunch of earnings plays. And the latest one that I traded was Target. And I can show you an example of what I was looking at with Target. As you can see, we got the big gap up on Target after earnings. Earnings happened to be positive, and we got a massive gap up in price. Okay. And as you can see, if I open up this chart, I'll show you the long signal was here. All right, that was our long signal to get in. And again, why did we know that that was going to be a good spot to get in? Well, because when you looked at price action leading up into this moment, you could see that the big institutions were buying up the stock. So, one thing leads to another. And if the institutions are coming in to buy, it's likely because they know something. Okay? So from here, they started buying. And then from here, they continued to buy. And then this was the latest area where they were buying. So there was three main parts of the chart leading into earnings that were telling us that they were buying significantly. Right? So if they were buying down here, okay, maybe it's because they want to rally it up to the 140s. Maybe they're going to take profit up there. Maybe, and price is going to be driven down. But when they continue to buy here, now we're in the 140s. And then they continue to buy here. Now we're in the 148s, right? So then it's about taking a look at the chart and deciding where our target is going to be. If they keep on buying, where's our target going to be? And so our target was right about here. And I alerted this stock on Twitter right here. Okay. I told everybody big banks are buying leading up to earnings. It's a very good sign. Okay. So we bought and we had our target, and we have targets even higher too. Okay. I personally am still in this stock. Okay. I'm still in this stock waiting for it to rally much higher. So that's how well they can work out when they work out in your favor. And if you do the correct analysis, that's exactly what should take place. So I was taking a look at some stocks that are coming out with earnings. And one came out this morning. Okay, that's Archer Daniels. That one came out this morning. But there's other ones coming out tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. So I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at these stocks and see what we can determine from them. Out of those stocks that are coming out this week, one of them I have already made an investment in, and I alerted it to members, and I won't share it here because that's privileged information for members only. But next week I will discuss it. Okay, so one of these I have already purchased shares of, but I won't specify which one. But we'll go through all of them and we'll take a look at what's taking place with price and what's likely going to happen based on what's going on. So let's start by looking at ADM. ADM is a stock that's been on my watch list for some time. They came out with earnings this morning, and here it is. So earnings are negative. Okay. Here's the interesting thing. When I saw earnings were negative, here's the interesting thing. So based on the analysis that I have done on the chart, I'm looking at an area down here, okay, between just under $40 and just under $48, okay? So in the 40s, I'm looking at an area here that I located. This is an area where I believe big institutions are going to come into this stock and buy it, all right, all throughout here. And I think price must get down here before it starts to rally. But as you can see where price is currently, it has stopped on the way down right here. So what do we need to get price to drop down there? Would we need good news or would we need some negative news? Right? And so earnings come out, they're negative, it's going to force price to drop. And maybe even lure retail traders into selling the stock. We're at pre-market 56. Selling from 56 to 48 is not that far away. And if retail traders are selling the stock, we need the banks to buy, right? So if banks are going to buy, you need sellers. So I saw that this morning and I thought to myself, well, how interesting is that? I'm waiting for price to get down here. And what would I need for that to happen? Some negative news. We need some negative news. I was just thinking this the other day. We need some negative news on this stock to get this one down there. And then this morning we take a look. Negative earnings. So we'll see how it plays out. It's one that I'd like to keep on the watch list to see how this plays out for the rest of the week and into next week. Next is coming out tomorrow, Wednesday, PDD. So let's take a look at PDD. And initially, upon first reflection, what do we see? We see that price has been declining, okay? We look at the chart here, and we see some basing candles here, a push to the downside, some basing candles here, push to the downside. Here was significant demand where the banks came in, started purchasing. They continued to buy here. Now, we have some basing here, but according to the analysis that we've done, this is not considered to be institutional demand. Okay, it's a major imbalance, but it's not institutional demand. So with price coming into this area, we do not expect or have any expectations for price to continue higher from there. All right, so it's a different situation. Do we have some demand on the weekly chart right now? Yes, currently we do have some demand on the weekly chart. Okay, but with respect to earnings coming out tomorrow, we're in demand. We could see a slight push to the upside from earnings, okay? Whether it be negative or positive, we could see a slight push to the upside. And that would only be because of the institutional demand that is coming into play. Now, I'm making big arrows. I'm not suggesting that price is going to get to 130. I'm just making big arrows here so you can see the direction that I'm speaking about. But as far as I'm concerned, when we're looking at this chart here, and I'm looking at this formation, this price action, the way it came up, down, no demand here, and then it rallies, it doesn't look very good to me. All right. So I wouldn't want to be an investor in this stock. All right. Not at this point. If price starts going higher and making better looking formations, then I would like that. Like for instance, I'll just share with you something. If I put a trend line here and connect it here, look at that trend line. Do you think that's a high quality trend line? It's not a high quality trend line. So I'm not going to be buying something when it has a very poor looking ascending trend line on its monthly chart. Okay. On the weekly chart, I drew a trend line here. Is that a good quality trend line? Not really. Not really. And why? Well, these are things that we discuss in class, but one of the reasons I wouldn't like it is that's point 1, that's point 2. And if we take a look at all the trading that took place between point 2 and where it's coming into contact demand, it's not what we would typically look for in a ascending structure, okay? It's way too much trading, way too much going on, which suggests to me that we should not be focusing on this time frame, but we should be going up one time frame. And we've just done that. We are looking at the monthly, and we're not seeing anything good looking there. So we pass it and we move on. And so the next one is LEN. Let's take a look at LEN. Here's a nice looking chart. Okay, nice pressure to the upside. Everything's looking good. The only thing is, I look at the weekly chart, not very good, right? And you might ask yourself, well, what's not good about this chart? It looks pretty good. It's trending to the upside. Well, first of all, trend line's not the greatest, all right? This situation here with price action is not the greatest that took place. And putting things into context with regard to the location of this trend line and where this situation takes place, it's telling me that this is not a really good ascending trend line. All right, so if price was to decline here, I would suspect that this area would be removed, price would come down, this trend would be no good. Okay, so weekly chart is not very reliable, I would say. Or sorry, monthly chart, I should say. Now let's go to the weekly chart. Let's clear this. What do we have? All right, potential trend line here. Potential. Not too bad, not too shabby. And let me take a look back here. We have some institutional buying that came in here. But when you study supply and demand with us, you'll recognize the difference between good quality demand and low quality demand. And students will recognize that this is a very low quality area of demand. And again, the distance between where price is now and the trend line, we're very far away. If this was institutional buying, its location to the trend line is very poor. Okay, so does not seem to be much support for price here. What we would need to see is new buying, new structures being created, and that would tell us that price is likely going to be supported if we're going to get a push higher. Yes, we're at all-time highs. Yes, everything looks great. And you'd be sitting pretty if you got in lower on the chart. But at these highs, based on the structure that we're seeing, not a good idea to be buying at this time. All right, let's move on. LEN, Dollar Tree. I like Dollar Tree. I was looking at Dollar Tree. This one's a good one. This one's a pretty good one. And here's the reason why this is a good one. I'm going to just show you the monthly chart. Okay. So when you look at the monthly chart, the first thing I notice is that there's significant buying coming in here, down from these lows, $105. And the only major roadblock for price was this area of supply. Okay, this was a significant area of supply that was used to propel price down to the 105s. So in order for price to continue higher, this area of supply needs to be removed. Now, if you take a look at what's taking place with price right here, you'll see that price rallied up until this area of supply and it reacted. How do we know that? Well, you see that big red candle to the downside? That's the reaction from supply. All right? And if the supply was significant enough, what would take place is that price would react and continue lower. But it didn't do that. It reacted, it stopped, and it reversed to the upside. And now it's going even deeper inside this area of supply. So bottom line, is supply still in play? Yes, it is. But the fact that price reacted and is now rallying right back up, that's a very good sign. Here's the weekly chart. Okay, supply is here. Price rallied up. We have this imbalance here. Okay, you see that imbalance? Price came down. Now again, if the supply here was very strong, we'd expect to see a move down to here. But the fact that it reversed right from here, and now we're starting to see momentum building back to the upside, zoop, 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 is a very good sign that eventually we're going to see this area break through. Okay, so this is telling me the big banks, the old money financial offices, okay, the family offices, the hedge funds that trade on behalf of big money, they're interested in Dollar Tree. And they are not letting this supply get in their way for a push even higher. So Dollar Tree has earnings coming out on Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning. And could be negative, could be positive. It can go both ways. But I'm leaning towards price eventually making a move higher. So we could have a scenario where earnings comes out and it's rock solid, very positive, and price gaps up above this 154 area. And if that was to happen, gap up above the 154 area, we could see this area act as support and price start to head much higher. Okay? So keep an eye on that one, because I think there's a good chance that that could take place. Dollar Tree, Adobe is another one that I like. And this one is showing me really good signs that it wants to continue higher. We have significant buying taking place here. We have significant buying here. And as you can see, we contacted this area of supply. This, again, acts as a roadblock. It came in, ate some supply, came in deeper, ate some more supply, came down into this area of demand, and we're seeing bullish pressure coming back in. And I believe this one is Thursday morning, Dollar Tree, or sorry, Adobe. Yeah, Thursday morning, we have earnings coming out. So everything leading up to earnings is telling me the big institutions are buying. The old money is investing. They're getting into this stock. Okay. And so Thursday comes, I would easily be seeing a gap up in price, right? We're currently gapping up right now. 560 is what it closed. It's at 568. Does this mean the excitement for acquiring shares before the earnings release is taking place? I don't know, but I would think I think there's a very good likelihood that that is what's going on here. Okay, Dollar General is one that I recently invested in. We had long signals. All the way down here, I opened some accounts for my young children, some investment accounts, and I invested in Dollar General. I asked them, I'm like, hey, look, there's a bunch of companies. Which companies would you like to invest? I think they're all good. You tell me which ones. You guys like dollar stores, right? Every time mommy takes you to a dollar store, you love the little things that you get from there. Would you like to invest in a dollar store? So they got all excited. And I bought some shares there, bought some shares here, there, and we're still holding onto it. I got in myself on my own account, and I had, well, actually, we all exited our positions here. Okay, we all exited our positions up here. And there's a reason why we exited our positions up here. First of all, it was a very nice profit. To start getting in at 110 and getting out at 159, not bad. Not a bad trade. And we have significant supply being contacted up in this area. All right. So with significant supply coming out or being contacted and earnings data coming out, what typically happens from my observations is that if the institutions are acquiring shares of a stock lower on the chart, and then it enters into a significant supply area and earnings are released, regardless of what the results of the earnings are, price is usually going to drop. Okay, more likely than not. And the reason being is that supply area is usually where the big institutions will take profits on their positions. So if that does indeed play out, I would expect to see some kind of a drop in price. And then after the foundation is built back into the stock, it will start to head back upwards again. And when that does happen, and I believe it will, and the reason being is because overall the chart is looking really good, a lot of buying taking place, and I think price can go a lot higher. So, but I think this reaction from supply, since it's significant supply, I would expect some kind of a move to the downside, them to start getting back in at lower prices, and then I'd be looking to buy. I bet you I wouldn't be surprised that earnings will come out and it'll be positive, okay? And that will lure retail traders into buying, okay? As the banks are offloading, retail traders will come in and buy the shares off of them, and then price will drop. They'll eventually sell those shares back to the banks will buy it, and then create the foundation, push price up. All right, something to watch for. We're just about past our 20-minute mark. The other two are not that important, so I think I will leave you with that. Was there any stocks? I had asked you guys if there was any stocks that you guys were looking at that have earnings coming out to let me know, and I would take a look. But I don't see any stocks on your list there, so I guess I will let you go. That'll be our 20-minute mark session, and I hope you liked it. If you got something out of today's session, please feel free to hit the like and share button. When you do that and you support us that way, it helps keep these shows coming your way. I got a lot more that I want to share with you, a lot more that we can do together. So thanks for all your love and your support. Really appreciate it. Really enjoy doing these sessions with you, and I'll let you go at that point. All right, ladies and gents, very good. You enjoy your day, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, take care, everybody.